I'm Dana R. Fisher. I'm a professor in the sociology department. I also run the program for society and the environment at the University of Maryland. I study political decision making and the many different actors who are trying to influence it, including protesters and activists. Over the years, I've collected data at around 13 different large-scale events in 4 different countries. So we have a data set of over 6,000 protesters at this point at these different events. There were significantly more first-timers than I've ever seen at a protest event before. So 30-some% of all the people whom we surveyed reported that this was the first time they'd ever participated in a protest, which is very high. At the same time, 50-some% of them actually reported that even if they had participated in a protest before, this was the first time they've protested in 5 years. What we find is that the people who participated in the Women's March were what we call an intersectional crowd. They were not one-trick ponies who were just out because they care about one specific political issue. They were out because of a suite of issues. And in some ways, I think that's one of the reasons that the march was so successful, because it brought out people who cared about a whole bunch of progressive issues. Protests are effective if a lot of people come out. Just like point blank, how do you define an effective protest? If you get a lot of people in the streets. The problem is that you can't achieve political goals or even affect social change by just taking it to the street on one Saturday in January. Even if you get lots of people in the street. Protests and activism requires sustained engagement where people are both protesting and boycotting and lobbying or, voting against people, writing letters, calling their representatives. All of those things are what are required. My advice is that you should not just be marching. You've got to be, you've got to be taking advantage of all of the opportunities that you have to be a citizen in this country. And one of them is, it's very easy to do a visit to your legislator's office because you're here at the University of Maryland. You can just get on the Green Line and go. And I would encourage everybody to go visit their elected official and tell them what they think. And for students who represent districts across the country, they should go by all means and visit with them and tell them what they care about, because that's what democracy looks like.